Here we go. Good morning. Good morning from the office. As you can see, you don't see what you don't see is your buddy BKP. BKP is taking a much needed rest. I'm not going to tell you where he is, but one thing I'm going to tell you that you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. You're going to be in for a surprise. He's going to be at a secret location somewhere. So I don't know if we're going to have a contest to guess where he's at or not. But anyway, I'm joined this morning by the lovely Jane. Jane is my Friday compatriot from the All-Star panel. Bruce is traveling this week, so he won't be with us on Friday. But I trust Jane will be there. We'll be at beautiful downtown Blue Ridge do you think, what's the weather going to be like this Friday? Is it supposed to rain all week? Do you know?
No.
It's not.
First commercial, I'll look it up. I don't know.
Anyway, we're delighted to be here this morning substituting for Brian. He, if memory serves me, he attended one of those campaign parties. What do they call it? A coming out party? No, he wasn't at a coming out party, was he?
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I think he went to Canton last night to be with some friends.
Oh.
And he speaks very highly of that group down there, the Republican group. They wanted to get together as a group and watch the Trump rally. Did you watch the Trump rally?
I did, every word.
Never missed it?
Did not miss it.
It was pretty special, wasn't it? Tell me. Before we go there, Josh, I know Brian always does one thing. He lets the folks know how to get a hold of us. Why don't we do that? There we go. There's our at Fetcher News. That's the Instagram. We got the Twitter account up there at Fetcher News at FYNTV. And then you can always catch the replay if you don't have time to watch us live on the YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetcher News. So thank you, Josh. I know that Brian was taking screenshots last night, and he's got all kinds of pictures teed up as he normally does during the show. You know, he calls us at the last minute, so we don't have the time to get up at 4:30 in the morning. What time did you get up this morning?
You know, I'm looking forward to my nap after this. I really am. I got up. My alarm went off at 6.
That a girl.
I always have to snooze one time.
Okay.
To get mentally prepared.
Okay.
So I got up at 6:10.
So your day is ruined if you don't get that.
It's not as good as it ought to be
Okay,
if I don't
okay.
get that. So
All
I
right.
had, and so I started getting ready at 6:30, and here I am, right on time.
Well, you were right on time this morning. We met along the road, and I looked at my wife. I said, "Let's meet at 7:20," and sure enough, a bingo 7:19. I see the headlights turning in, and I'm going, "That girl is on it." Well, I'm glad you're here with me. I appreciate you coming in and spending a couple hours. We're gonna cover a few things. Yeah, I took a before we get to the Trump rally, which we want to cover. We'll highlight some of the things. We'll show some pictures. We'll show a little reaction to how the other side, or I don't want to call it the dark side.
I don't know why not.
That's what I like. Just speak your mind, girlfriend. We've got Josh will throw some pictures up. We'll react, but and then I just got back from the left coast, from Los Angeles, visiting my older daughter, my older child, who happens to be my daughter. She and her family live in Los Angeles. So I've got some tales from the left to talk about. Jane and I have done a little digging into a piece that was done by a guy that we both really love and respect and listen to, Victor Hansen from the Hoover Institute. That guy is brilliant, isn't he?
He is. And he is just so calm, cool, collected. Everything just sounds like it falls right out of his
Never
brain.
let him see you sweat, right?
No.
That's got to be his motto.
And he puts his thoughts together so beautifully.
Cogent.
Really, he's good.
That's a good term, isn't it? Cogent.
I like that word, cogent.
I've got to be on my best behavior today because I'm sitting next to an English teacher.
Oh, that's true. But
know.
your grammar is really good.
We've got to, for those of you who are regular watchers, watch Jane and I every once in a while on Friday when we're with the All-Star panel, and Brian will say something, and I know that if I look at Jane, she's going to be looking at me going, "Really? Did he just say that?"
Not again.
Was that the proper declension of that verb?
Oh dear, Brian. He wants to get. He's doing okay.
He's doing great, and that's part of his persona. But I'll tell you, the guy is so well read, and he really digs in, and he's got an uncanny knack of kind of wiggling down the road and picking something up that a lot of people don't see.
His memory is remarkable. I mean,
It is.
with naming off these counties and these states, and I think he's a brilliant guy. I think he's really very smart, and I enjoy being with him.
I hope he's not watching this morning.
He
all
is.
This is going
You
to
think
go to
he's
his
not
head.
watching?
I don't know. He told me he doesn't like to watch it when he's not doing it.
Really?
Yeah. Now, whether he's just laying that out there, I don't know. But
He's gonna watch.
You ought to watch this morning, Brian, because we're giving you some compliments.
Yeah.
Some of them were backhanded, but compliments nonetheless. Anyway, let's go back to we're going to talk about the California thing a little bit. I really would like to talk about, if you will, talk about your days in Arkansas a little bit and some of the connections that your family had with some of the prominent members that come out of that state, like the Clintons. Yeah.
Arkansas is a relatively small state, and
So everybody knows everybody, huh?
well, anyone who, you can go to Little Rock and know people, and Hot Springs and know people. And then my family was very active in politics. And so one of my cousins married Patsy Thomason's brother. That's not too complicated. So Patsy Thomason, you may remember, is the woman who found Vince Foster dead in the office, I believe, and she was suspected of removing crucial files because Vince was going to expose Hillary, and that was pretty hairy there for a while. Of course, she got off scot-free, but
let me stop you there because what I wanted to do was which you absolutely did brilliantly. You gave him a little tease. Into what we'll cover later.
All right.
Yeah. You gave him a great tease, though.
I know first-hand things.
She's
about
got
Bill
some
Clinton.
stuff, and I'm driving this morning, and I'm going, we got to talk about this. And she said, well, a lot of people don't.
They could kill me.
She's, God, she's got the goods, folks. So we'll see. That's what you got to stick around for. Stick around for the second hour, and we'll chat about that a little bit, and I'll ask you some questions, and you just say, no, I don't want to go there, or yeah, let's talk about that. So anyway, okay, back to Trump. Let's talk about what we saw last night, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Do you think it was a rehash of the same? Do you think that he changed his tune? Was he? Give me your synopsis. Give me in a nutshell what you thought, start to finish. Just go there.
Well, at first I thought maybe it's going to be a rehash, but I really didn't think it was because he was more in campaign mode. He's been campaigning since he won,
Yes.
with all these rallies. But he was very intense. And what I noticed is that last night he brought up more of the crimes and indiscretions of the Democrats in a much more straightforward way. He was throwing out Hillary, about the emails, he went on, and about spying. I mean, he laid it out, and he kept saying, notice, I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll find out. He knows everything, and I keep telling my friends I believe it's going to come out. But so I think he was just preparing everyone. I think he's serious. I don't know if Hillary's going to jail. I hope she does. But I thought he was so intense. He brought up very succinct points, and I just really took notes as I went. I don't know how the Democrats are going to counter anything that he's done, how they can do better. How can they do better than the jobs he's done, the factories have come back? What are they going to say?
That's a brilliant point, and it'll all bear out. I don't know what kind of attack they're going to they will take when they do these debates. Is Biden going to still act like the guy who is already won the nomination, and he's going after Trump, or are they going to start eating their own?
I hope they start eating their own, but I'm going to watch those debates. Usually I just ignore them because I can't stomach it, to be honest.
I hear you.
But I'm going to watch those two debates. What nights are those? Tell everyone.
Josh had I think Josh had a graphic that shows the candidates and when when the first debate is. What was it? There you go. Night 1, June 26th, 9 p.m.
Everyone, don't miss it. You have to see these people and what they stand for, and I hope you watched the Trump speech. And if you haven't, go on YouTube and watch that rally last night. Because when these stand up, they've got to decide if they chop each other's heads off or if they're going to just go after Trump. Trump. All of them are going to go after Trump. Biden said Trump, 75 times or 175 times?
Yeah, exactly. 76 times, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see their tact. I just can't wait, really.
Yeah, you see, that's night number 1. You see kind of one of the front runners.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle, Elizabeth Warren. Then you got Beto next to her, and then Klobuchar. Some of those people I don't even know.
Obscure.
They go the other way. You got Castro, and then that's Cory Booker right next to Warren, correct?
So can you imagine the United States of America saying President Castro? Hussein was bad enough. I don't.
Josh, you have night 2? There's
right.
Night 2. Guess who's right in the middle? Joe and Bernie. Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Swalwell on the right, Gillibrand.
Who's the woman on the far left? I don't even recognize her.
I don't either. Do you know who that is on the far left there, Josh? I don't see it. I can't read that name up there. Marianne Williamson?
Williamson. Never heard of her.
Marianne Williamson. Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's almost like a round robin in baseball, huh? Then you pick a winner out of that, and then they come together and they spar. I don't know. It's going to be something to watch, to say the least. But
so, what do you think? They're going to trounce on Trump, or are they going to trounce on each other?
Well, I think they're going to spend a good bit of time going after the administration, current administration. What a bad job they've done, how dishonest they are, the deceit, the lies.
I think they protest too much.
Yeah, that's right. Someone said that once, right?
Yeah, someone said that.
It was interesting when you look at some of the clips of those candidates who have just, when they announced. Joe, I think, probably had the most number of people there, and he could barely scrape up 3,500 people.
I was surprised he got that many.
Did you see the numbers last night again in Orlando?
Unbelievable.
I mean, that place was jammed, even though the New York Times said, well, there were a lot of blue seats because they were leaving early. I don't believe it, folks.
Oh, please. The electricity in that room.
Yeah.
I mean, on Biden's, they're always close in on Biden, notice.
Right.
And the people are kind of around there. And there's no electricity. There's no...
It's just, everything's monotone.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's the...
Dead in the water.
There's the
Look at that.
What's Trump call them? The failing New York Times. By the end of Mr. Trump's 76-minute speech, there were patches of blue seats. That's just hogwash. You know, I don't know what they were watching or where these blue seats were, or whether people were, maybe they went out to the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah, he did make the comment, well, they're going to see 2 or 3 blue seats. They're going to say we didn't fill the auditorium.
Yeah. Josh, did you say something? Josh makes a great point. Were you on the show when or did I just hear that? Josh said, brilliant point. He said that what Trump ought to say is more people left his rally early, possibly, than even show up at the Democrat rallies. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good piece. 120,000 applications for seats. And it was interesting. I was watching Fox and Friends early this morning. Finally, someone made mention of the fact that we've talked about all along, that in order to get an application in for a seat, you've got to give them a lot of information.
Really?
Yeah. And what they're doing,
about it.
what the Trump campaign is doing brilliantly, is collecting all that information so they can, get to those Florida voters.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, Kushner is working again behind the scenes, and and they've got all of that. As an incumbent, he's got a whole lot more advantage than he did when he was coming out of the boxes. Just
did you hear Dana Perina kind of wrap it up?
I did, and that was well done.
Yeah.
Can you remember some of the points she was making?
He's got the kind of the bully pulpit. He's got all these people working for him.
Right. Was that on the 5 last night?
No, it was a preamble. I think she was talking with Tucker Carlson.
Okay.
I believe.
Well, because she made
Just
that
before
point
the
earlier
speech.
on the 5, I believe, and it was very well done. One of the few good points that she makes. Did I say that?
You said that. Listen, I'm on the fence with her.
I am too. I go back and forth.
I
I'm thinking to
am.
myself, well,
she was with the Bush administration, and those Bushes are they have secrets that are pretty horrible. I hate to say that, people aren't.
no.
Believe me,
I've said it. I've said it before on the show.
but they've got issues,
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And
she was a part of that, just very close.
she is. She's close, and she is very, very loyal. And you cannot fault her for loyalty.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it's blind loyalty or not, we don't know. But it's
Just
loyal.
like I am to you.
It must be blind loyalty. Because you don't know my dark secrets, do you?
I'm looking for them.
Oh me. That was good. 20,000 seats in the CNN CNN arena.
Oh Lordy!
What did I? What's that?
Freudian
arena?
slip.
Yeah.
or
What was that arena? Well, when I looked down at my notes.
What was the arena?
When I looked down at my notes,
not Amazon, but one of those. It's a company.
Yeah. Anyway. Regardless of what the name of it was full. And did you see the absolute beginning? Who introduced Trump and how classy that was? Melania.
She is
Isn't
wonderful.
she just? I mean,
She's so sincere. She means every word she says.
and the media absolutely just tries every way possible to demean that woman.
Yes,
I mean,
they do.
she's brighter by accident than most of those people
Right.
are on purpose.
And she's also very brave. That whole family is brave. Brave is a word we don't say much anymore.
No, you're right. You're right. And you put it in context of what has happened to people that are in a position where they have a lot of negativity around them from the other side. They literally, and I hate to go there, but let's call a spade a shovel. They put their lives on the line.
They do. You read my mind.
Every time they cross the street, they go out in public.
There've been, according to sources, there've been several attempts on Trump's life and his family's life.
Really?
Yeah. You talk to, is it Adam Schiff? Who's the...
Pencil neck?
No, Adam Schiff. No, sorry. It's the ex-CIA
Dan
agent.
Bongino?
No, that's he's on interviews now. It's I'm sorry, I can't think of his
No,
name.
no.
I'll get it. And he explains the deep state, the shadow government perfectly. He tells how the corruption, and he said his life is in danger too. I'll get his name in the break, but you want to listen to that man talk. He tells you where the bodies are buried already on the.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to.
I haven't sent you that yet.
Get more of that.
Yeah, it's good.
Going back to the rally, were you surprised at the amount of, and I'm going to use the word adoration,
It's a good word
that
for that.
that Sarah Sanders commands?
Listen.
When he introduced that lady, that place came unglued.
You know, what happened with her is the same thing that happened with Trump. They call a spade a shovel, or they come out and say, this is ridiculous. There's none of this mamsy-pamsy. And that's what America wants.
Exactly.
And that is just obvious.
Right.
That it's so refreshing, and you just want to stand up, and your team just made a touchdown, you know?
Yeah, exactly. She
so
pushed
refreshing.
back. The media couldn't stand it because they were being challenged.
By a woman.
Yeah, exactly. And didn't your heart break for her when they did that, when she went representing the administration, because Trump wouldn't go, to that roast that they do every year, you know, the press dinner or whatever, and they had that twit, whose thankfully career has been ruined because she was just such a nasty person.
It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a book, Everything I Know I Learned in Kindergarten. She didn't go to kindergarten, and she didn't learn a thing. Rude is not the right word. It's just despicable is one word.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have a leash on these people, or don't they tell them, you know?
They helped them write these things, I'm sure. I mean,
someone had to know what she was going to say,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
And they allowed it.
They allowed it.
Yeah.
Do you recall when Trump and Hillary were both at some dinner for I think it was a Catholic priest in New York, and then Hillary gets up and says her thing, and Trump, he got pretty about her thing in Haiti, and the kids are missing. I mean, that was pretty, but they were true.
I remember
they weren't
exactly
jokes.
what that was.
They were true.
They do that every year, and it's called the Al Smith dinner, I believe.
That's it.
Is that correct?
That's it.
The Al Smith dinner, and it's a fundraiser for underprivileged children, I believe. Is that correct? Al Smith was
which is ironic because there's so much child trafficking coming out of Haiti. You know, I don't want to get into that.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Find out.
One of the kind of the funny things that happened is Trump was talking about fake news and how fake news was so prevalent in what he calls the last 2.5 year siege. And all of a sudden, he pointed out there to all of the cameras and he said, look at all that fake news out there. And it was like on cue, the chant started, CNN sucks.
I thought that's what they were saying.
And I'm telling you, and he just stepped away from the mic and he goes, okay, have at it. And I think we've got, I don't know if we've got a clip on that. I think we've got a clip that Josh can play for us about how CNN reacted to that when they were broadcasting the Trump speech live. Do you have that, Josh? Let's go to that clip and just see how they reacted when all of a sudden the chant came out, CNN sucks. Go for it.
That is a lot of fake news back there. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I say? The amount of press we have tonight reminds me of the Academy Awards before it went political and their ratings went down the tubes. True. This was our chance to reclaim our government.
All right, we've been watching the president kick off his re-election bid. He's been on stage for about 6 minutes. Within 2 minutes, he did talk about the economy. About 4 minutes, it was attacks on the media. So.
About CNN.
Jane and I were sharing the audio over here. We can't hear it unless we've got an earpiece, so I happen to have 2 earpieces, so we were cuddled up over here listening to the sound. I don't know if it was evident in that clip or not, but the crowd was going crazy in the back. I mean, they were in unison, and they were knocking it out of the park.
You know, if I'd thought about it, I would have put CNN on my iPad. It had been fun to watch them simultaneously, and you could hold and then hear what they say. It'd been a really fun experiment.
Back and forth, just to see what the interaction.
Yeah, the difference in hold it and
in the
still
response.
do it, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah.
How CNN reacts to all this, and that'd be interesting.
Any
Did
other-
you watch any of CNN's
I did not.
presentation? I didn't
did
either.
not.
I just can't stomach
No, I
it.
have it programmed out on my TV, actually. There were, there were a lot of other points that we probably ought to bring up. Some of the highlights were the fact that he brought up all of the promises kept, and some of the things that stuck out in my mind were 107 judicial appointments to date.
What was Obama thinking, leaving 149? I think
149 were the openings. You're right.
Unfilled. And he wants control of the courts. What was he doing? smoking a cigarette in the White House?
Sleep
or
at the
something.
switch. Yeah, down with his.
Well, that was lucky for us.
Exactly. But that is a huge accomplishment, and 2, count them 2, Supreme Court judges.
Gonna be more. Have you heard one word about Ginsburg? Have you heard one word? First she was dead. They showed an ambulance going out of her house. They have old pictures. They put pictures from 2 years ago of her in the airport, just insinuating or trying to let us infer that's her now.
Right.
And
You don't think
I
she's
haven't heard-
assumed room temperature?
wouldn't mind. That's horrible. No, but I haven't heard a word about her. She's here. She's there. I'm surprised. I don't watch CNN, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear you.
If she weren't sitting in the court, I guess we would have heard about that.
Yeah. Well, we bounced around a little bit in the first half hour. We're trying to stay on track here. We're having some fun. Jane and I we like to get together and just chit chat. So this is like coffee talk.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Cool.
We've been rambling here for about a half an hour, and when we come back after our break, we're going to just touch on a few more of the highlights from the Trump campaign speech last night. We're going to talk a little bit about his promises kept, what the overall message was again, and that's red meat to his base. That's immigration. We can talk a little bit about that. And then later on, as we spoke about earlier in the broadcast, Jane and I are going to try to get over on the left coast a little bit and talk about a piece that Victor Hansen put together. But we've got some sponsors to recognize. We want to take a pause for the cause. You need a break after listening to us for this last 30 minutes, but it's been fun in the first half hour, and it went fast. And we'll come back after these messages, and we'll talk about some more. So, Josh, take us to break, please.